Hello everybody, we are here at Kenwood High School. I've got with me a gentleman here. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we'll ask him some few questions. So go ahead, sir.
Craig Collins, head track and field coach for North Lawndale College Prep.
Okay. And real quick background. I mean, what high school did you go to? What did you run, or what sports did you play?
Played football and track and field at Julian High School. Been coaching for about 12 years now. Started here at Kenwood under great coach Ed Keys. Then moved on, now coaching at North Lawndale. Been there 8 years. Been down at been in the state finals for the last 8 years. Pretty successful program in that these are kids from North Lawndale. Really had no aspirations to participate in track and field, and they kind of found their niche within the sport as opposed to basketball or other things. So it's worked out well for us thus far.
Okay, let's I'm familiar with North Lawndale College Prep, but you obviously know it. I mean, it's a relatively new school, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
The school's 11 years old.
11 years old.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
11 years old. On the west side of Chicago, 16th and Christiana.
Okay, North Lawndale community over there, right?
Right. It's a good school. We have a over 90% graduation rate.
Okay, I did not know that.
And about 80, say mid 80% go on to college.
Okay.
So we are doing some things really unheard of in terms of that community in the past. So with the short period of time that we've been doing things, it's worked rather well for us as a school and for the community as well.
Okay. Now, you're at North Lawndale. You said you've been a coach there for how many years?
8.
8 years. For what sport?
Track and field.
Okay, so you're the head track and field cross-country coach there.
Coach.
Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the past seasons in track and field, and then we'll talk specifically about this season. How's it been there the last 8 years of track and field? You can just give us a flavor.
Well, we've been fortunate to have been able to go downstate with competitors from our school for the last 8 years.
Every year you've gone downstate?
Yeah, every year
Okay.
we've gone downstate. Sometimes with both the boys and girls programs, sometimes with just one program, girls or boys. But it's always a unique experience to bring kids from programs, because usually our kids start from scratch. This is usually their first year running track and field as an organized sport. So within that short period of time, they're able to get enough information and challenge themselves in the sport and to excel at the high rate, going to the state finals, which is quite an achievement.
How many? What numbers are we talking about? How many freshmen, sophomore are there approximately in your team?
Well, the school itself now is just under 500 or just over 500.
Oh, the whole school.
Whole school.
Okay. Okay. How many freshmen, sophomore are on your team right now? On the boys' side.
Gauge. Season's still early.
Yeah.
But
or do you typically have? Yeah.
Well, we would usually have about 10 to 12 freshmen come out for both sides, boys and girls, and put them in various events, from sprints to throws to jumps.
Okay. So 10, 12 fresh sophomore, and then another 10, 12 varsity.
Sure, and a lot of those kids come from other sports in which they may not have made the team, such as basketball.
Okay.
May have had, in fact, our first achievement there 8 years ago. A young lady was on the cheerleading team, but wanted to come out and run track just to try it out. I think her boyfriend may have been part of the track team as well. And she came out and she became an instant success. And she really found her niche as an athlete, and now has graduated from Eastern Illinois in the spring. So those little victories there mean a lot in terms of what someone is able to accomplish within the sport and for themselves. Okay. But again, we start from scratch with freshmen, trying to get them involved in various things, not just track and field, but all extracurricular activities. And those that do gravitate to track and field, we try to keep them on and teach them as much as they can about the sport.
Okay. And I'm going to talk about a topic that's been a little bit on the news lately. Obviously, North Lawndale College Prep has lost an athlete. Talk a little bit about the community that the team felt about that. How they're dealing with it and everything.
Well, it's a difficult time, even still. The incident itself took place about 2-3 months ago in November. Jimmy Avon is who we're referring to.
Yes.
He was one of those athletes that took a while to come over to track and field, having played basketball. Tried out for track and field and was beginning to excel. This would have been his senior year. He started his senior year, but this would have been his senior year season. And we had a lot of high hopes for him. We had talked about going to colleges. So he will be well missed. So we are still recovering from his loss. But, we kind of use his loss as an inspiration for us to kind of move forward. I think that's the best thing that we can do now.
Is move forward.
But there are moments still where we sit back and reflect on where we were and where we've gone with him in the picture.
Okay.
So with that being said, we keep him always in our mind and hearts, team together, kind of use that as a point to rally around and use that as some emphasis for enthusiasm to get us going throughout the year.
Okay.
So thus far, even though we've just started this week, practices have been going well. As a result of that, the team has come together. I don't think we have been as cohesive this earlier on in the year. So there are some silver linings and clouds as a result of his loss, but he is sorely missed.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. Let's talk a little bit about the future. What, in your opinion, North Lawndale, to me, is already a success in that they have, a successful cross-country program in that most schools in the West Side do not. They also have a fairly good-sized track program, considering the size of the school. What do you feel is the future of North Lawndale College Prep as far as tracks? And then we'll talk about North Lawndale College Prep, and then we'll talk about the Friends of the Track.
Sure.
After that, you can lead up to that if you'd like.
Well, with all the accomplishments that we've had, we are not satisfied. We still, in our opinion, have a long way to go. There are some successes. We are continuing to build on our cross country on both boys and girls. Track and field, again, we've had success going to the state finals, but there have been some years in which we hadn't earned a point. So we want to get to a point where we are consistent in placing somewhere down the line. So we don't rest on our laurels at all. We continue to work hard, and hopefully, one day soon, hopefully, we get to a point where we are in the running for perhaps a state title.
Wow.